Hey, very quick one today. Basically, just want to quickly talk about my favourite. Itchy nose. Hay fever. My favourite series, comic line from the 1990s, which I can talk about because I'm really old, 52. But yeah, it was the series that came out from DC, a line of comics from Milestone. Um, and what I like about them is that it was the first company that concentrates on focusing on minority groups that normally get overlooked by comics unless they've done like in a stereotype like Luke Cage, or if you want to go the gay route, North Star. Um, they weren't done written by people who actually knew about being black or being gay or whatever. But Milestone, they were fantastic. I remember it's about 1992, 93 when they came out. And since the first issue came, I think it was Hardware, or it could have been, yeah, I think it was Hardware that came out. It's like just blown away. Dennis Cowan's artwork definitely helped because he's an amazing artist. But I remember, I think it was October last year, DC brought out the Milestone Compendium, which is this one. And buy it. If you've never read the 90s Milestone line, oh my god, it's amazing. Looking through it now, just fantastic. The artwork's great, and like I said, they had representation, but it wasn't done in a political way or a trophy way like they tend to do nowadays. It's like nowadays, like for example, I think there's a head, there was a Twitter post from Marvel that they've got their first transgender mutant or superhero, something like that, and it's like, so. I mean, I'm trans, I'm transgender, and even I was like, oh come on, please, just do it in a natural way. Milestone did it. I mean, in Blood Syndicate, and we're talking like 1993, 94 here. They had, don't know if I can find it, but they had the first transgender man as part of the team. And that was before I knew about the term. That was when I was like sorting out my own identity. I mean, we're talking like 30 years ago then. That's really quite pioneering. And they had another series with amazing art. If you can find it, check eBay. There's a miniseries called Death Wish, and it was written by Addie Blaustein. I think she actually created Rocket Raccoon with Mike Mignola, if I remember. But yeah, Addie Blaustein wrote this series. It was basically about this supervillain called Death Wish. I think it was Death Wish. Yeah, I think so. Who's like a serial killer. And if I remember rightly, I think he targeted transgender women. But Addie Blaustein, I don't know if you knew, she did voices for loads of cartoons, but she also did a lot of writing for Marvel and DC. And she was a trans woman herself, so she was like writing from her perspective. One of the main characters was a detective who was trans, who was in a relationship with another transgender woman. And I'd never come across anything like that, and I don't think there's been anything since. I know Black Canaries, not Black Canary, pardon, whoops, Flip, that's what I said Flip. I know Batgirl had a flatmate who was a trans woman, but she was the main character. But this one, Black Deathwish, she was the main character. She was the main protagonist, hunting down this serial killer. And like I said, we're talking like nearly 30 years ago, so it's way ahead of the curve. And they just did amazing stuff. Like I said, Hardware basically is kind of like the anti-Iron Man. He's how Iron Man should be, basically just really cool with loads of cool gadgets and just an amazing suit. So let me just see. So many pages. let me just see if I can find a bit of Hardware thing, as they say on a certain TV show. Bear with. There we go. But yeah, just amazing. And again, like I said, Dennis Cowan designed that. I think he designed most of the characters. And of course, Dwayne McDuffie, rest in peace. He like spearheaded the whole Milestone company. I mean, Milestone brought in one of the best characters ever into the whole Comics Universe full stop, which was static. Basically, like, I mean, if Stan Lee did Spider-Man now, I think that's what static is like the answer to. And I think without static, you wouldn't get characters like Miles Morales. So yeah, I really, really recommend this. Like I said, the team of writers had an artist from all minor artists you had. There's a character called Zombie, which was a Chinese doctor, I think he was. I've not finished reading this. It's been so long. And he could, like, I think he had like nanites or something in his body where he could use them to adjust his body and things like that. Pretty weird, but it's pretty cool. And that had a very like cool Vertigo kind of feel to that title. But like I said, so you have people like Dennis Cowan, Dwayne McDuffie, Addy Blaustein, like I mentioned, MD Bright, who you don't see much of nowadays. Is he still alive? I don't know. John Paul Leon, I think it was his first commission work. Chris Cross, amazing artist. He's on the new Milestone titles, so I do recommend checking their stuff out. Trevor Von Eden, who is a fantastic artist. He did a series in the early 80s called Thriller. Oh my goodness, he's so good. Like I said, J.H. Williams III again, I think it could have been his first major company art commission. He did loads of stuff for Milestone. So just so cram full of talent, but for some reason it just got overlooked. And I know I'm based in England, but I heard stories in the States where shops just weren't ordering it, like down south or whatever. Is it down south in the States? I don't know. They just weren't taking on because they just thought it wouldn't appeal to the white majority of customers there. But I mean, I'm white and I love it. It's like I said, I've been buying the recent Milestone stuff and it's still great. It's superheroes without the pretension, and like I said, to get messages across without being preachy. It's just life, and that's how it should be done. I'm extremely liberal. I'm trans. Again, I've said that about 2 or 3 times and I don't normally mention that. You can see. But they do it and they still do it in such a non-preachy way. It's just a way of life. They basically write about what they know, and they employ writers who have had personal experiences about the whatever walk of life they're from for each issue. And I think the bigger companies like Marvel and DC, even though this is part of DC, it's still like an imprint within a company. Marvel and DC and other places could learn from them. I mean, these were doing stuff 30 years ago, and they didn't trump it saying, "Hey, we're doing a comic about a gay character," or "Hey, we're doing a comic about a black gang." They just did it. Whereas nowadays, if there's anything like that, it seems. But that artwork, amazing. It seems to be that you've got to do a big post about it, and it's like tokenism, and it shouldn't have to be the case. It should be, if it's a good story, just buy it for on the strength of the story, whatever the story is. So it's just a perk and a bonus that they did cover groups of the community what a lot of comics at the time in the 90s overlooked. They just didn't know how to write about them. And so yeah, fantastic. Do buy it. So I do recommend it. It's $59.99. So in the UK, I think that I got mine for about 35 quid from Amazon. Can you advertise? I don't know. It's not an advert. But yeah, you can find it still, and it's amazing. And there's it's loads of pages. I think there's about over 1,000 pages in it. And this is volume 1, so I think there'll be about another 1 or another 2 books in the range, and you won't be disappointed. Even though it's written 30 years ago, it reads better than, say, for example, the X-Men. The dialogue is just so good, and the artwork is amazing. So, gets my thumbs up. God, I'm a geek. Anyway, well, hence the title, The Man is a Geek. That's it, bye!